everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for joining, and if you've already subscribed, thank you so much. Today I wanted to do a sit-down video because there's a topic that I really wanted to kind of address and talk about, because a lot of you have been following my channel for a while and you know that I am American. My husband is Vietnamese, so he is from Vietnam, and we actually met because he was an international student here in the US. So if you want to learn about how we met, you can check the card above and see that story where we told the story of how we met. But today's lesson I want to share is basically my experience with kind of going through learning Vietnamese culture and how I was able to become the person I am today ultimately, because for me this has really changed my life, and that's why I want to share it with you, because I know there's a lot of couples out there. If you're watching and you are also in a relationship with someone from Vietnam or someone from another country or culture than your own, I think this video is going to be very helpful for you, because I just want to highlight that it wasn't extremely easy to just kind of embody the culture and learn it overnight. So before I get started, I just want to give a little background about me if you're new to my channel. So I am American. I was born and raised in Maine, which is predominantly white, not diverse at all, and we obviously have an American culture here in the US. So I was brought up with the American ideals and societal expectations. So as an American, I had like the individual mindset. I was quite selfish as a younger person, because I felt like after I turned like 18 and moved out, I was ready to do everything my way, and I was the number one. It was all about me, which is not a bad thing because you are supposed to look out for yourself. So I was like happy and I was responsible and all that stuff, but ultimately myself came before anybody else. So that's where I kind of started. And at that point I thought like that I was going to become an English teacher, get married, have kids, have a house in Maine, live in nature, and that was okay with me. That was what I expected from my life, and I didn't really think much of it until the day I met Hui. So like I said, if you haven't seen that video, go check it in the card and then come back here if you want, or you can just finish watching this and then go watch that one. So I met Hui, and we obviously are from different cultures. But since we met in America and we were surrounded by my culture, I didn't really notice a difference right away. So it was actually maybe a year into our relationship when the first thing actually came up that showed that our cultures and our mindsets were very different. So it was my birthday, and I remember the whole day all my friends were asking me, what did he get you for your birthday? What did he get you? What gift did he get you? What did you get? And I kind of felt awkward because he didn't get me anything, and I was like, well, nothing. And they were like, oh my god, that's horrible, because that's just the American way. You're supposed to get a gift on your birthday, especially from your boyfriend. So I was like super awkward the whole day. Then that night he cooked dinner for me, which was really sweet, but then after dinner I kind of brought it up because so many people were asking me and it was kind of bothering me. So I just said, hey, like I didn't, like, people asked me what you got for my birthday, and I told them nothing, and it was really awkward. And then we got into this huge fight because from his point of view, which I now kind of agree on, but at the moment I totally did not. So from his point of view, he felt like showing your love is more important than material items. And so he didn't really believe in buying something to give somebody to show that you're loved. He didn't believe that at all. So he got really upset, and that's when the conflict like showed the most. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. I didn't know what to do because he was really upset, and I never saw him like that before. And in that moment he was explaining it too. He's like, you know, in Vietnam we don't do that, like it's not like that, and this and that. And so a lot of people would probably think like, well, he was just trying to be cheap or like not a good boyfriend. But from my understanding, like now obviously I see it, it's not all about material items, and there are other ways to show your love, such as cooking dinner or just spending time together. So that's when I first like felt the cultural difference. Then later, I went to Vietnam for the first time in 2013 for our wedding. So I have another video if you'd like to check it out in the card. It's all about my wedding, how I explained everything that happened. It was a very exciting experience for me and such a memorable time of my life. But when I was there, I felt another frustration, which was with his family, because I was 20 years old, almost 21. And when I was there in their home, I had to eat like all these foods I didn't like, and I was getting so annoyed because for me growing up, that was like the thing that I really hated. Like my life was revolving around how many yucky blucky suppers were left until like I got to go like to a friend's house or go somewhere else and then eat whatever the heck. So I was like so mad because his parents were making me eat like eggs and seafood and all this like stuff that I really hate, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I was just eating the stuff, and then I remember I was crying in our room and I was telling him, I was like, this is so unfair, like I'm an adult, this shouldn't be happening, blah blah blah. And so you can kind of tell I was still in that American mindset, because in America, once you're 18, you can literally do what you want. No one tells you what to do, and I was kind of in that mode. And so that's why I was so upset in that moment. But then things changed. I mean, everything that I had ever known about the American lifestyle and culture was completely turned upside down with this new relationship and this new family. So there came a point where I finally found the key to understanding all of this, which for Vietnamese culture, family is the key. And understanding the respect that Vietnamese people have for their families and their elders and their dedication to their families is kind of what taught me that I was being really, I don't know, like selfish, and I just wasn't as mature as I thought I was, because I was still thinking of me first. Even when I would sign like a card to a friend, and he would get so upset when I would just write my name, and then I'll be like, okay, now you can sign it. Like, he was like, or I would just write my name and give it to the person, and he's like, what about me? Like, we're supposed to be a team, like a family unit. And so even at that point, I was still like completely lost about what was what. But understanding that family is at the root of basically everything in the Vietnamese culture really helped me to move forward and grow. So every decision-making process in Vietnam usually revolves around your family, and if what you're doing is going to benefit your family and everything like that. So then after thinking, I realized like, oh, his family's not trying to control me, they're concerned about my health. They want me to eat these things for my health, which is obviously the same thing in the US, but as an American individual like mindset, I'm just like, they're just like trying to make me upset. So just understanding the true difference between the Vietnamese and the American way of viewing family. I mean, Americans love their families, but at the end of the day, they make decisions based on their interests or their nuclear family's interests. So the grandparents or the other people outside the family, like outside the nuclear family, don't have as much weight in decision making. But in Vietnam, it's completely different. And so that's the main key that I learned that actually helped me to understand the Vietnamese culture a bit better. And once I got that, I kind of propelled into a whole new mindset where I became less selfish and more eager to make sacrifices for my family. And of course, I'm still American at the end of the day, so there are things that I haven't completely changed, but I would say that I honestly have become a better person after adopting some of the values from Vietnamese culture and melding them along with my American values. And it's also been easy for me because Huy is actually in America. He's been here 10 years, so he's actually become a bit Americanized. So it didn't force me to completely give up my American identity, which is great because I don't think I could ever do that because that's just the way I am. So I now see myself as kind of like half Vietnamese, which may sound really weird to a lot of people, but I've just been able to adopt these cultural mindsets and put them into my lifestyle, and I feel like it's really changed the person that I am to be a much better person. So I am still working on like the American like selfishness, because that's something that's really hard to get past since I've always been Peanut. Come up here. Come up. You want to be in the video? Come on. Peanut. Come here. You want to be in the video? He wants to be in the video. But I feel like that is just something that will come with time. So while I do have a pretty good understanding of the Vietnamese culture, I know that moving forward, Huy and I will probably never 100% be able to understand each other's cultures, and that's okay. You just have to kind of have that respect for each other and be willing to talk about it and negotiate things that you might not both agree on, but you can come to a solution to work together and to build your life. So I hope that this video and this story is helpful. Peanuts right here. I hope this video and this story is helpful to you to kind of understand that it's not like I just woke up and became like the perfect wife, or like learning all these things about Vietnamese culture. It's love that really drove me to do that, and I'm so glad because it really made me into a person that I'm very proud of, and I'm just happy to be where I am at this point. So thank you guys so much for all your love and support. For those of you who have never seen a video of me before, I normally do vlogs on this channel with Peanut and Huy, so check out my other videos if you'd like. But let me know if you want to see more videos like this of me just sitting down and explaining different stories or like life lessons, things that you might have been curious about and you want me to talk about more, and I'll be so happy to make those videos for you because I do enjoy these kind of sit down videos from time to time. So give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Please share if you have a friend that is in a relationship with someone from another culture that may benefit from this story, and subscribe if you haven't already, please and thank you. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.